typical. More of the same. Making a video. Responding to MTV News. What else is going on? I saw Rogue One last night. I got some thoughts, and I will delve into that after I make this video. Might give a little rundown about the situation in Germany with a terrorist attack. Killing 12, critically injuring a number of others, wounding a bunch of people at a very central location that I have been to many times in Berlin. The situation in Germany. Hold on, it's too loud. It's because I have the loudness thing on. Chill that out. There we go. Okay. So, let me, woeist Devon? Fuck. Get out. Alright, let me, crank away here. Doing a reaction to, well, I guess I can play that for you.
Well, you just knew I was going to cover this one, didn't you? How could I not? We got 2017 New Year's resolutions for white guys. Not white girls. We're talking about the man, the white man. Because what better way for MTV to cap off this year than to be openly racist towards white people? Because, you know, MTV hates whites. Makes sense. You know, just random. It's like, hey, VH1 is against the Jews. Let's see what you got. Bring it. Well, you just...
Okay, so this is the video.
Hey, fellow white guys.
It's about to be a new year.
And there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
First off, try to recognize that America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white guy.
Can we all just agree that Black Lives Matter isn't the opposite of All Lives Matter? Black lives just matter. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
Also, Blue Lives Matter isn't a thing.
Cops weren't born with blue skin, right? I mean, yeah, they weren't born blue.
Stop bragging about being woke. Stop saying woke.
Learn what mansplaining is, and then stop doing it.
Oh, and if you're a judge, don't prioritize the well-being of an Ivy League athlete over the woman he assaulted.
We all love Beyonce, and yeah, she's black, so of course she cares about black issues. I'm talking to you, Fox News.
Feel free to take Kanye West, though. You guys can have him.
You know what you did, Kanye.
Nobody who has black friends says that they have black friends.
And just because you have black friends doesn't mean you're not racist. You can be racist with black friends.
Look, guys, we know nobody's perfect.
But honestly, you could do a little better in 2017.
Some of you guys do a great job. Some of you don't.
Please, because 2016 is bad. 2017 can't be worse than this, all right? Because this is bad.
God, that music at the end. What the fuck are they doing?
Here's a question. Are we going to get a reply to this? Is that fair game? How about, hey, black guys? Hey, black guys. There's a few things that you could do better next year. Or hey, fat Mexicans. Here's a few tips for your New Year's. Stop shoving rice and beans down your fucking fat brown face. Or hey white guilt-riddled weak. Hey you queer white. Or hey white or hey you queer white guilt-riddled freak. I've got a couple tips for you. Just a little unrequested life coaching for you, pal.
Hello, Magnus. If people would stop killing cops, we wouldn't have to remind them that Blue Lives Matter. Yeah. Blue lives definitely matter, and nothing's going to change. You know, the turning of the new year is just a symbolic thing. It's all bleeds into one another, and change comes slow.
Yes, it was. Why don't you go live in any other country on Earth? Any other country on Earth. Once. And then tell me how great America is. Not just for whites. For you, princess. For you.
Good for you.
You want... And drum roll, white. And drum roll, white lives matter. What? No, let me change it. White guys matter. And no, it's not the opposite of all lives matter. It would be the opposite of black lives don't matter. Lives matter. It would be the opposite of black lives, which nobody's saying. So, choke on my genitals, all of which are white, except that one. That one, except that one. Except that one. Yes, it is actually. Blue Lives Matter. Yes, it is actually. Is a thing. Is a thing. And the idea behind it is very clear, which is that the lives of police officers matter. Matter. And we should respect them as we should respect them as they are placing their lives. And we should respect them as they are willfully placing their lives on the line to protect us every single moment of every single day. You ginger-headed pussy hole. Here's a question. Are we going to get a reply to...
Did I fuck this?
Stop trying to be funny. Stop trying to... You're not Chris Rock.
Stop bragging about being woke. Learn what makes...
I don't say woke. I don't try to pretend to be black. And if a black guy tries to greet me on the street, but after I call 911, I shake his hand like a grown-ass white man does, which is vertical, thumb pointed in the air, which is vertical, like a goddamn handshake, normal style. There's no hug. There's no half hug. There's no back pat. There's no woke. It's none of that shit. It's, here's my handshake. How are your stocks doing? To which he replies, I don't have any. To which I reply, when are the cops gonna arrive?
Oh, God. Hello, Zach. How are you? Arsenal fan. He's British. Probably young. Does he have an Arsenal tattoo? All questions. Devin, will you sing me to sleep? It's too early for me, and my voice is not prepped, so I don't want to ruin my standing with you. MTV News love to do nothing more than shit and piss all over white males, especially white males. Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that it's so brazen. It's not even being hidden anymore. And I think the reason they can do that is because there's no backlash in the room. So try to do that live. Just walk into the Country Music Awards and start this shit up. And then they could hear the sound of 10,000 dislikes. See, right now, they shoot it, they all high-five each other and like, yeah, fuck whites, we're all on board. That video was so dumb. They said something like Blue Lives Matter didn't make sense because cops can take the uniform off. No, they said something stupid about people don't have blue skin. It was ridiculous. Do they not have, like people protecting their lives daily? Exactly. Yep, shitting on white people. It's ramped up, man. It's to a whole new level. Greetings to your white genitals, Devin. A benediction upon them. Thank you. Yes, hilarious. Sup faggots. Is that abbreviation for faggots? Not sure.
Fucking hell. Okay. Nerd. Listen to me, nerd. Take your man-hating resentment and save it for your future cats. Have fun watching the sequel to 50 Shades of Grey. You terrible wench.
There we go. Dropping loads.
He assaulted. We all.
He didn't prioritize that. The man was a first-time offender. The man was a first-time offender for sexual assault. And there are sentencing guidelines for that. And there are sentencing guidelines for that scenario. Sorry to ruin your virtue signaling and your white knighting and your race baiting and the exorcism of your white guilt. But that's the way it goes. But
about black issues.
Pointless. I love that black issues is somehow a normal thing to say. Black. Okay, well, I have white issues. Now, one of those white issues is that MTV is on a crusade to shame white people into oblivion. I'm not sure what the goal is here, guys.
They have black friends.
It's just
Quick question, do you have black friends? Quick question, do you have black friends?
Choking on my own phlegm. It's disgusting.
Uh-oh, TikTok. Think quick. If you say yes, you're fucked. If you say no, you're double fucked. What a smug, arrogant, and pointless thing for that shit to say. Well, how about this? This champ, you can be racist. Well, how about this? How about this, champ? You can be racist even if you have. You can be racist, champ. You can be racist even if you have white friends. Do you have white friends? Maybe we should turn the table. Maybe we should turn the tables. Got any white friends? Oh, you do? That doesn't mean you're not racist. Yes, your face, the dimensions of your face, it proved that fact.
We're in 2017.
You know what? You know what? You know what I want to do to you right now? I want to unsheathe my dong, penetrate every facial orifice you have, wipe that shit-eating grin off your face, and then take a shit on every one of your ancestors. I will exhume bodies, and it will be filmed and live streamed on Periscope.
Aaron's here. Bald guys acknowledge each other. It's like the Freemason Society. Exactly. There is a private Twitter chat of just bald white guys. It exists. It's not a conspiracy. It's a cool sound effect.
This is highly challenging for me to listen to 20-year-olds tell me that I'm not doing a good job at being white. Just be better. Just be better at life, white people. Yes, that was bad. I would venture to say it was awful. It was extremely woke. Woke. Is that the proper use? Am I allowed to use the word woke? How about this? Black people and people of color, stop using the English language correctly. That's kind of a white thing. It is our language after all, and we do let you and we do let you and we do and we do language after all, and we do language after all, and we do let you use it. Let. So please stop conjugating verbs properly. And also stop using punctuation correctly as well. Kind of our thing.
Ew.
Yeah. Good luck in 2017. Enjoy the dislikes on this video. Maybe just reflect on it. You know, some of those executives over at MTV, just ponder it for a split second. Ponder it for a split second. Ponder it for a split second. Rethink what the fuck you're doing. And keep at it. But by all means, keep up the strategy of poking your thumb into the asshole of 63% of the country. Let's see how that works out for you. Hashtag Team White. Hashtag White World. Later. Danke. Tschüss. Yes, that...
Audio complete. Moving to video stage of production. Entering chat. How close to Berlin are you? Yeah, man. I'm not going to reveal my location, but that's a place I go to and have been many times. I have many pictures I've taken at that place. It's right next to a gym that I used to go to, and it's right next to the zoo, and it's a big Christmas market, and it's unthinkable what happened there. Motherfuckers. Glad they're dead. And the Germans will be glacially slow in revealing information about who those people were, which is going to be frustrating, but that's just their policy. At the time that the attack was happening, Merkel was receiving and giving out awards for refugee integration. So they were applauding themselves and saying, oh, look how great we are. Which was, it's awful to consider that. So
You knew I was going to cover this one, didn't you?
let's bring in the video. And there she blows. Let's see if we can just, I think this is a better way to do it. So I'm just going to lay it out like this and just get all the cuts in. Let's see if we can do this quick style.
Hey, fellow white guys.
It's about to be a new year, and there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
And we will bring in the second wave file right there. Oh yeah, then we will zoom out.
Coaching for your pal.
First off, try to recognize that America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white guy.
What an incredible statement that is. They just have it so bad here. It really does tell you that these people don't travel, they don't have any sense of history or understanding of what standard of living or what the first world is or what America is and what the difference is that America has to other nations. It's like, Jesus.
Can we all just agree that Black Lives Matter isn't the opposite of all lives matter? Black lives just matter. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
Oh my God. It's weird. Like, people with dark skin think they have an invisible shield against being racist. They just think like it's just, oh, what's this?
Stop trying to be funny. You're
Where the fuck did that go? Okay, now I'm confused.
Don't say woke. I don't.
I knew it. I fucked something up. This blows. Now I'm going to try to salvage. Now sort by date is what I want, and I know I've put this in here before, but my goddamn computer doesn't want to remember my desire to go by date. No.
Stop trying to be funny. You're not Chris. Yes, it is actually. Blue Lives Matter is a thing, and the idea behind it is very clear, which is that the lives of police officers matter, and we should respect them as they are with us every single day. You ginger-headed pussy.
What?
Here's a question. Are we going to get a reply?
This is bullshit. Oh, and I love that sound. Yeah, keep popping that up for me, please.
Reply to this? Is that fair game? How about, hey, black guys, here's a few tips. Or, hey, white, you queer, white guilt. We've got a couple tips for you. Just a little.
Anyone who wasn't a white guy.
Yes, it was. And then tell me how great America is. Not just for what, for you.
Can we all
Headed pussy hole.
Guy.
Yes, it is actually. Blue Lives Matter is a thing.
The fuck?
A little unrequested life coaching for you, pal.
First off,
Amazing.
Once. Yes, it was.
Apparently, I saved these somewhere.
Yes, it was. Why don't you go live in any other country on Earth? any other country on earth once. And then tell me how great America is. Not just for whites. For you, princess, for you. You want, and drum roll, white lives matter. What? No, let me change it. White guys. And no, it's not the opposite of all lives matter. It would be the opposite of black lives don't matter, which nobody's saying. So, choke on my genitals, all of which are white, except that one.
Okay, I'm not even gonna sweat this.
Yes, it is actually. Blue Lives Matter is a thing.
Okay, I'm just gonna power through it.
Yes, it was. Why don't you?
I'm gonna do that. We're gonna do this. And we're gonna do this.
Also, Blue Lives Matter isn't a thing.
Cops won't bomb.
I hate that. Actually, I hate the expression "isn't a thing." Talk about being trendy and just going with what other people say. It's just so annoying. So overused.
Yes, it is actually. Blue Lives Matter is a thing.
Cops weren't born with blue skin, right? I mean, yeah, they weren't born blue. Stop.
Ew. Damn. It's messed up. I should screenshot that.
Stop bragging about being woke. Stop saying woke.
They woke.
I wonder how long this video is going to be. 5 minutes? Maybe less.
Learn what mansplaining is, and then stop doing it.
Oh my god. I love the jazzy music in the background. Trying to make it seem friendlier. Just put a soundtrack to your racism. It's okay. It's all a stepping stone thing, man. You push it forward. So if you think this is harmless, just see what the next thing is.
Oh, and if you're a judge, don't prioritize the well-being of an Ivy League athlete over the woman he assaulted.
Nothing to do with anything. Ivy League and athlete, how does that come into a court proceeding? That's just your jealousy. That's just your being into class warfare and just saying, I'm not an Ivy League athlete, so fuck this guy for doing something that he was punished for. His life has been ruined for.
But that's the way it goes.
We all love Beyonce, and yeah, she's black, so of course she cares about black issues. I'm talking to you, Fox News.
Feel free.
Look at that face. Disturbing.
Feel free to take Kanye West, though. You guys can have him.
You know what you did, Kanye.
Nobody who has black friends says that they have black friends.
I think I'd like to punch that guy in the face more than anybody else in this video.
Say.
That's because you have...
Devil fucked. What a smug, arrogant, and pointless thing for that shit to say. Question, do you have black friends?
Just because you have black friends doesn't mean you're not racist. You can be racist with black friends.
Look, guys, we know nobody's perfect.
Not sure if this is correct.
Look,
Well, how about this, champ? You can be racist even.
It is correct.
guys, we know nobody's perfect. Guys, we know nobody's perfect. Guys, we know nobody's perfect.
I hate that. They cut away. They bleed the audio from the next clip onto the one before. So
Guys, we know nobody's perfect.
That doesn't mean you're not racist.
Guys, we know nobody's perfect.
But honestly,
nobody's perfect. Hey, white people, could you try to be more perfect? You're not. You're not perfect. I'm saying that as a kind of a perfect member of some non-white race that is above criticism.
but honestly, you could do a little better in 2017.
Some of you.
It's so fun. I love the stupefied people on the left who just look at this and they get behind it. Like, there's a bunch of white people who are down with this shit. They're like, sweet, this is great. I love this. More diversity. Did you see how many blacks got Golden Globes this year? It's so cool.
Some of you guys do a great job. Some of you don't.
Some of you. Oh, she knows it. She knows. Yeah, fuck that noise. That has got to go. Ew. Fucking Franny. At least I know she's being stabbed by a white dick in her gash. Nightly. Probably not nightly. Sex gets boring after a while. Oh, 6 minutes? Interesting. Okie doke. So now we're going to come through and decorate. So, let's start with a refresh on this.
Hey, fellow white guys. Hey.
Oh, God. Fabulous. Let's start with that just to give a frame of reference. There we go. It's my naming conventions. Bring it in. Plop it. Plop it like it's hot. And let's bring in the Kangos. All that. They all coming in. And we're going to bring in all them. All them. And we're going to come also to bring in the white man. Yes. And anybody else? Okay. So let's start us off with Real Mad. It's a bit big. Let's rotate so we can see the dislike bar. Too much rotation.
You just knew I was going to cover this one, didn't you? How could I not? We got 2017 New Year's resolutions for white guys. Not white girls. We're talking about the man, the white man. Because what better way for MTV to cap off this year than to be openly racist towards white people? Because, you know, MTV hates whites. Makes sense. You know, just random. It's like, hey, VH1 is against the Jews. Let's see what you got. Bring it.
Hey, fellow white guys.
It's about to be a new year.
All right. I'm just going to make this pretty quick and dirty. Nothing too crazy.
Here's a question. Are we going to get a reply to this? Is that fair game? How about, hey, black guys, there's a few things that you could do better next year. Or, hey, fat Mexicans, here's a few tips for your New Year's. Stop shoving rice and beans down your fucking fat brown face. Or, hey, you queer, white guilt-riddled freak, I've got a couple tips for you. Just a little unrequested life coaching for you, pal.
I wonder how they advertise this to these people. So when they tell them, hey, do you want to be part of a thing for MTV? They're like, oh, sweet, what is the topic? We're sort of going after white America, sort of like sticking it to the man. Is that like they just sign up for it?
A white guy.
Yes, it was. Why don't you go live in any other country on Earth once and then tell me how great America is? Not just for whites, for you, princess, for you.
Can we all just agree that Black Lives Matter isn't the opposite of all lives matter? Black lives just matter. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
And
let me surf through here. Let me go into a folder. There's a folder I'm looking for. There it is. Let's find an image. Not Dylan Roof. There we go. Bring in a white male. Do it like that, and we'll do it like this, where we freeze frame her, and we're gonna move her over like this, and we'll talk.
And drum roll, white lives matter. No, let me change it. White guys matter. And no, it's not the opposite of all lives matter. It would be the opposite of black lives don't matter, which nobody's saying. So, choke on my genitals, all of which are white, except that one.
Also, Blue Lives Matter is...
Oh, this is fucking crazy. What a son of a bitch. Also, Blue Lives Matter isn't a thing. What the fuck are you talking about? You know, cops aren't like, they don't care. Is his life worth less than mine? Well, are you talking about net worth? Because, yeah. Yes, it is. Unless, of course, he's a drug dealer. Let me see. I think there's a picture from Atlanta PD. Let's see if I can find it. Blue Lives Murder. I'm looking for a good picky. No, don't like it. Being very finicky. Let me try Blue Lives Matter, and let's do large, and let's do... God, why can't they just give me this year? Stupid ass motherfuckers. It's the little things in life that just annoy, isn't it? Just bugs the living Christ out of me. Where's the picture that I need? This is alright. Did they copy the other dudes? We'll use it. Frame it. Bring it in.
It is actually, Blue Lives Matter is a thing, and the idea behind it is very clear, which is that the lives of police officers matter, and we should respect them as they are willfully placing their lives on the line to protect us every single moment of every single day. You ginger-headed pussy hole.
Cops weren't born with.
And we'll freeze frame that. There we go. Let's do a fat brown.
Stop trying to be funny. You're not Chris Rock.
Stop bragging about being woke. Stop saying woke.
I don't.
He's happy about it. Are you allowed to say woke? Just out of curiosity? Like a gay, fat Mexican? Is that cool for you to say it? I suppose it is.
I don't say woke. I don't try to pretend to be black. And if a black guy tries to greet me on the street after I call 911, I shake his hand like a grown-ass white man does, which is vertical like a goddamn handshake, normal style. There's no hug. There's no half hug. There's no back pat. There's no woke. It's none of that shit. It's, here's my handshake. How are your stocks doing? To which he replies, I don't have any. To which I reply, when are the cops gonna arrive?
Learn what mansplaining is, and then stop doing it.
God, the fact that it's so blind that she would say that. Not realizing that she's doing the exact thing that she's trying to chastise men for doing.
Stop doing it.
Fucking hell. Okay, nerd. Listen to me, nerd. Take your man-hating resentment and save it for your future cats. Have fun watching the sequel to 50 Shades of Grey, you terrible wench.
Oh, and if you're a judge, don't prioritize.
And Stanford cheerleader. No, I want cheerleader. Well, maybe cheerleader is okay. And I want it to be large. Why would they have USC cheerleaders? It's an intriguing image. Gotta love cheerleaders. Oh my god, look at these cheerleaders. They just love it. They love the role. Why? I type in Stanford cheerleaders, I get a bunch of non-Stanford cheerleaders. It's crazy. It's not right. That's a terrible resolution picture. And I'm waiting for the image that speaks to me. I'm waiting. This is kind of crazy. I like it. Bring it in. Scale it. Bring that in.
didn't prioritize that. The man was a first-time offender.
Oh god. Guy's skin is very troublesome to me. White male on that.
Pointless. I love that black issues is somehow a normal thing to say. Black, okay, well, I have white issues. And one of those white issues is that MTV is on a crusade to shame white. Quick.
Oh god, that guy is such a menacing presence. Can you imagine the victory lap these guys take after they do a segment like this? And they just think, oh, nothing, no big deal. I'm just featured on the internet.
Quick question. Do you have black friends? Uh-oh. TikTok. Think quick. If you say yes, you're fucked. If you say no, you're double fucked. What a smug, arrogant, and pointless thing for that shit to say.
Just because you have black friends.
Some of my best lynching victims are black.
Well, how about this, champ? You can be racist even if you have white friends. Do you have white friends? Maybe we should turn the tables. Got any white friends? Oh, you do? That doesn't mean you're not racist.
Guys, we know nobody's perfect.
Yes, your face, the dimensions of your face prove that fact. You know what? You know what I want to do to you right now? I want to unsheath my dong, penetrate every facial orifice you have, wipe that shit-eating grin off your face, and then take a shit on every one of your ancestors. I will exhume bodies, and it will be filmed and live-streamed on Periscope.
Some of you guys do a great job.
This is a relatively easy video to make, you know. It didn't take me long to react, and there's no research behind it, and you know, it's just, here's my thoughts. It's quick and dirty.
This is highly challenging for me to listen to 20-year-olds tell me that I'm not doing a good job at being white. Just be better at life, white people.
Please.
Okay, and we end with
That was bad. I would venture to say it was awful. It was extremely woke. Is that the proper use? Am I allowed to use the word woke? How about this, black people and people of color? Stop using the English language correctly. The English language correctly. That's kind of a white thing. It is our language after all, and we do let you use it. Let. So please stop. It is our language after all, and we do let you use it. Let. So please stop conjugating verbs properly and also stop using punctuation correctly as well. Kind of our thing. Yeah. Good luck in 2017. Enjoy the dislikes on this video. Maybe just reflect on it. You know, some of those executives over at MTV, just ponder it for a split second. Rethink what the fuck you're doing. But by all means, keep up the strategy of poking your thumb into the asshole of 63% of the country. Let's see how that works out for you. Hashtag Team White. Hashtag White World. Later. Danke. Tschüss.
Let's give it a little extra second there to breathe.
Danke. Tschüss.
Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's render, and then let's talk to the degenerates in the chat. Got an itchy band finger. It's dying to get out. Let's crank open that. There we go. Play. What up, chat? Here we go. What the hell is woke? Yeah, it's trying to be edgy. It's trying to be like, hey, that was lit. That was, you know, hooking and pecking. Who's hooking and pecking? Oh, your 2-year-old daughter says Deke. Deke. Does she flex her neck when she says it? Wet butthole mouth, nigger pussy, Deke. Oh yeah, that is an amazing sequence from Shives. You want to check out what Shives is up to? What up, Bella? Oh, thank you for your video recently. That was very nice of you. Hello, built to break. No 5-minute delay. I don't know what's going on. Devin, the driver, was 23-year-old Pakistani who received asylum in February. Are you serious? Is that confirmed? Jesus. And Jenk was talking about, hey, it was a Polish, I think it was a Polish guy. I think it was a Polish truck that was hijacked or something. Ridiculous. Yeah, it was just the Poles getting back for World War II. Playing chess? Yeah, I have been playing chess. 1-minute matches. Choose. Yeah, Steve, the way he says nigger, he goes, we don't have any nigger lovers here. And then he said the word nigger. He's the best. Side butthole. A nice side butthole reference, which is a Game of Thrones inside joke with Phil the Issues guy and myself, which is awesome. So how often does one of these actors on MTV make a return? He called them actors. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, what do you call them? They're just people. Like, some of them are trying to be comedians. It's weird. They're all trying to be funny and charming. It's a weird thing. They're trying to make a positive impact, and they think that their appearance on a segment like that is going to do well for them and their reputation. Most likely they're embarrassed after seeing the final product. I doubt it. They all seem pretty down with it. You want to see a little Shivey poop? Let's see what Shives is up to. Oh, this is an amazing video too. I should do a video on this. Okay. Steve Shives. The guy does put out a lot of videos. He's on a schedule. He took it seriously.
I've been trying to come up.
Let's see. Why so? Within 2 words, he's announced himself to be just the most super dork ever. Why Superman is better on TV. The Off Monday Ramble. Oh, is this the one with that shit music? Is it? They all have shit music.
The latest live-action TV version of Superman was...
He does a little bit of content, and then he goes to his intro.
Better than his current big screen counterpart before he even officially debuted.
Okay, Steve. Let me just ask you man to man. And it's not a question, actually. Let me just give you a statement. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares about this, Steve?
Not that the bar was set very high.
Oh, he abbreviated it. He's right to just the end. Just get to that ending little melody there. Sweet.
A couple of weeks ago, I described why I think the CW's Arrowverse is a much better take on
the Arrowverse. God, I mean, he must have made a deal with the devil or just with himself to say, this is who I am. I'm just going to be me. I'm going to talk about the Arrowverse, and I'm going to talk about whether Superman was better on TV or in the movies.
DC superheroes than the cinematic DC extended universe. And there is perhaps no better illustration of the differences between the Arrowverse and the DCEU, and of why I vastly prefer the Arrowverse.
Vastly? It's a big deal for you, this?
Than the contrasts between their respective versions of Superman. The Superman of the DCEU, seen in 2013's Man of Steel, this year's Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and returning for next year's Justice League, is a bleak man in a bleak world. The colors of his costume are drab and muted. He's constantly
Tell me about the saturation of Superman's coloring, please. Steve, I can't do it. Oh, this is good, though. Movie review. I just watched this, so this will be interesting to hear his take.
I'll tell you what, a Star Wars movie every year sounds all right, as long as they're all going to be this good. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, has the distinction of being, in my opinion, the first good Star Wars prequel. It has not been marketed as a prequel. I think that's understandable, given how Disney has sort of pushed the prequel trilogy off into a corner by itself in order to...
There's probably a lot of spoilers in here if you haven't seen Rogue One.
To focus on nostalgia for the original trilogy and building this new sequel trilogy that they're producing, which began last year with The Force Awakens. So they haven't reminded us or encouraged us to think of Rogue One as a prequel, but nevertheless it is. And in some ways, it is the most prequel-y of all of the Star Wars prequels so far, because it deals with this tiny little bit of Star Wars backstory that is just mentioned in offhand bits of dialogue or referenced in the opening crawl of the original Star Wars. And it takes that little reference to something and expands it into this 2-hour adventure film. And yet, even though it's not necessary, narratively speaking, to the larger Star Wars saga, it nonetheless proves its value and justifies its existence on a creative and an artistic level for the most part.
Yeah. So, I watched the movie, and I'll give you some of my thoughts on it. Basically, I came away from it like I come away from a lot of movies, and that is dissatisfied, sort of numb, not satiated in any way. First, I'll just state that I saw it in 3D, and I hate 3D. It's official. I mean, 3D is utterly pointless. Can we get 4D? I'm not kidding. 4D, my sister has a television, it's 4D. I watched Stranger Things on it, and I felt like I was in the room with these people. It's 4D, you don't have to wear glasses, it's just crystal clear, and it's just better, just supremely better than these gimmicks. And the 3D artists, they have to go in there and decipher what is in the foreground and background and middle grounds, and it's all just, it gives me a headache, and it doesn't help. And your eyes never adjust to it, and it just always feels weird. Hate it. Next point. He's talking about the fact that it creatively justifies its existence. Look, I can talk to you about the positive things about the movie, but a lot of that just comes with money. So it should have positive things. You're hiring these really talented guys to come up with concept art and character designs. And you have the biggest budgets in the world. So the locations, special effects, space battles, all that stuff is fine and it's good, technically. But all of it, I do mean all of it, is pointless unless we care about the story and the characters. And that brings me back to the larger point, which is, in a 2-hour film, how invested are you supposed to feel with any of these characters? You're given literally a couple minutes to care. And now we live in a world where you have premiere television, where we're given hour after hour to develop a bond and a connection to the characters. And so you find yourself in a movie where you're, I don't know, the lead, even the lead, forget the secondary characters, the lead, you've had 5 minutes with this person, and you're supposed to care about her life. Oh, it's in jeopardy. She could be harmed here. I mean, she's not going to be because it's a formula, and you know she's the star, so she's going to win in the end. So that takes away all sense of, intrigue. And so I don't care about any of it. I don't care about the characters. I don't know them. I don't care about the world that they have, even the world of Star Wars, which, they don't, there's no stakes. The Death Star? Are you kidding? I mean, it's so damn boring. I was worried about the Death Star in the late 70s. And I'm still supposed to be worried about that? They have new characters, and it's weird. Like, they got this droid who's making jokes to try to punch up the script, and I like the character, I like the design of the droid, and I like the animation of it, and, it's levity is needed, but I don't know, it's just, I also hate the fact that one character has to be the comic relief. Like, why can't everybody be funny? And not be forced, not be desperate funny, like just natural funniness. Would be far superior. And so then we have this cast of rebels, and they've teamed up, and I don't know any of them, and I don't care about any of them. I mean, it really comes down to that. Nothing matters. The peril that you create, the conflict of the drama, the entire plot of the movie is pointless if you don't care about the characters. And for me to care about a character, you have to create real moments. Multiples. I want to feel like I'm there. And instead, Star Wars, what it does, and what many movies do, is they just move you from Act 1 to Act 2, and here we go, move it, and here's the soundtrack, and here's what the composer is trying to make you feel. They're beating you over the head with the soundtrack. So this is the sad part, and this is the exciting part, and you're just like, oh God. And then they're capitalizing off this relationship with the daughter and the father, and you don't really know these people. I mean, honestly, you see the daughter, you see the father, he looks at her and he says, you know what to do. I love you. You're my stardust. Now go to the safe spot. And that is the relationship. That's all we know. But we're supposed to just supplant the love we have for our own parents into them because, oh, look, it's a father with a daughter. And so isn't it sad? And then in this movie, and spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it, you can guess, a bunch of people die at the end. I mean, this is a prequel. So the whole point is that the Empire is taken over, and there's a bunch of people making sacrifice. And this is one of my pet peeves, is when you have characters die at the end of a movie. I mean, think about how often that happens, and think of what a tired old trope it is, just to drag that out. Hey, everybody, you know about death, right? You're scared of that, and it's painful, and that speaks to the human condition, doesn't it? So remember that character that we gave you 10 minutes of, throughout this film? Now he's dead. Now she's dead. Now everybody's dead. I mean, it's just like, it's so useless. It's so just dry, boring, devoid of meaning. So I don't enjoy that. And so, yeah, it's just a very frustrating thing. And then, yeah, you can admire the perks and the fluff on top, and the special effects and the characters, and all that stuff is fine, but it's embedded in this plot and story that is, for me, totally unnecessary. There's just nothing creative going on, and you also feel the weight and the pressure that Star Wars has to appeal to all audiences, so there's no edge to any of it. There's no sex, there's no hardcore violence, there's no nothing shocking, there's no edge pushing. It's all just formulaic in the worst way. It's all very cynical. It's just like, how can we please everybody, the most amount of people? And the answer is, you're going to displease an enormous amount of people if you try to please the most amount of people.
And I think that it very much succeeds as its own film.
And then Steve comes back with that after my well thought out, articulated stance on why I was thoroughly disappointed. Steve's like, I literally liked it. Let me compare it to the Arrowverse, and let me tell you how saturated the colors were in Superman versus Star Wars.
There are times when Rogue One feels very much like the other Star Wars movies, especially when we get toward the end, when we get toward the climax, and there's a big Rebels versus Empire dogfight.
So let me get this straight. Rogue One seems like the other Star Wars movies because you have the Rebel versus the Empire. Profound. Profound, Steve. So a Star Wars movie seems like other Star Wars movies. That's your thought. It's fucking depressing. Hey, you know Mad Max #2? It reminds me of other Mad Max films. You know when they had that whole post-apocalyptic guy wandering around a desert and like fighting other post-apocalyptic people? Yeah. Very reminiscent of Mad Max.
Space and on a planet, and there's rebels doing rebel stuff, trying to sabotage a shield generator of the Empire.
And that's not a good thing. It's not just reminiscent. They borrow plot points. Just full on. I mean, how many times are we going to see that exact same scenario play out?
And doing things that feel very familiar if we have seen other Star Wars films. And then there are times when it feels utterly different than any other Star Wars movie. And to me, sitting in the theater watching the movie today, those were the moments when Rogue One really came into its own and really felt like a good movie, when it departed from standard Star Wars stuff.
Like what, Steve? Well, it was a new movie, and it had a new screenplay with new characters. So, yeah, just like every movie is.
So specifically, Rogue One is the story of Jyn Erso, who is the estranged daughter of Galen Erso.
You're gay.
Who is a leading scientist within the Galactic Empire.
Dude, close the window. Where are you? Are you not in the basement?
He's the guy basically who built the Death Star, or whose ideas and plans allowed the Death Star.
I feel like he has to go to the bathroom. He's fidgeting and moving around in a very odd manner.
To be constructed, but he is a reluctant member of the Empire. He was sort of abducted into the Empire, as we see at the beginning of the film, and he's been separated from his daughter for most of her life, essentially.
Who cares?
And first, Galen himself, and then later his plans for the Death Star become the MacGuffin, become the thing that...
The MacGuffin? That's a phrase, an expression you use?
Our heroes are seeking, and
Gross.
Their efforts to first find him and then find his plans are the driving engine of the plot of the film. And in addition,
are you giving us a synopsis of the film?
To Jyn, we also meet Captain Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, and I should mention, of course, that Felicity Jones plays Jyn Erso and does a really good job, especially.
No, she didn't. I mean, it was terrible. Like, these characters are bullshit. It's just like peppy, upstart female with a personality that's devoid of any uniqueness. Just here's what she has to be: hot, young, feisty, and brave. That's it. Just generic. It's terrible. I mean, you guys, you have to have originality. Oh, God. Think of Pulp Fiction. Think of Quentin Tarantino. What does he do? Why did people like Pulp Fiction? I'm going to tell you the answer. 99% of the reason they liked it was because it was new and original. What he did with dialogue, how he structured the film with linear time, his characters, the tone of the film, the brashness of the film, all new. So it was a breath of fresh air, and this is a breath of stale fart air. And granted, it looks good. It's like a hot model in your elevator just farted. That was my impression of Rogue One. And you walk out of the elevator and somebody goes, "How was that elevator experience?" And you're like, "Well, it looked pretty, but it meant nothing, and it kind of smelled like an old fart." Like, that's...
Since the character of Jyn remains somewhat mysterious, somewhat remote throughout the film. Her motivations, the reasons that she does the things that she does.
Mysterious and remote. Try poorly written and vague because there is nothing there. Who is Jin? Who is this character? What do we know about her? What does she reveal? What does the writer tell us? Nothing. It's just generic, like, I lost my father and I want to reunite with him. Well, what have you been doing for the last 16 years? Just being a bratty, angsty rebel, and I'm, don't worry about it. Just let's get to the Death Star.
The reasons that she makes the changes that she makes and makes the choices that she makes and sort of becomes the person that she is at the end of the movie as opposed to who she is at the beginning of the movie.
What change? She made no change. There's no character arc for this character. None.
It's all somewhat foggy. It's not as it's not brought out as clearly or as meaningfully as it might have been. At least that's my reading, having seen the film just one time. But nonetheless, Felicity Jones does a tremendous job playing Jin, and Diego Luna does a terrific job playing Captain Andor. There's also Alan Tudyk as the voice of the droid for this movie. I suppose every Star Wars movie needs a droid, and the droid this time is maybe I think he's my favorite Star Wars droid at this point, because he has sort of a sarcastic...
God, the fact that he ranks Star Wars droids, that's something that he does. And he thought about that. R2 does have some good beeps, but, it's crazy to me. It's a crazy thing that this guy thinks that's okay to say. Here's my pecking order of favorite Star Wars droids. Unbelievable. All right. God. Let's see how that video turned out.
Well, you just knew I was going to cover this one, didn't you? How could I not? We got 2017 New Year's resolutions for white guys. Not white girls. We're talking about the man, the white man. Because what better way for MTV to cap off this year than to be openly racist towards white people? Because, MTV hates whites. Makes sense. Just random. It's like, hey, VH1 is against the Jews. Let's see what you got. Bring it.
Hey, fellow white guys.
It's about to be a new year.
And there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
Here's a question. Are we going to get a reply to this? Is that fair game? How about, hey, black guys, there's a few things that you could do better next year. Or, hey, fat Mexicans, here's a few tips for your New Year's. Stop shoving rice and beans down your fucking fat brown face. Or, hey, you queer, white guilt-riddled freak, I've got a couple tips for you. Just a little unrequested life coaching for you, pal.
First off, try to recognize that America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white guy.
Yes, it was. Why don't you go live in any other country on Earth once, and then tell me how great America is? Not just for whites, for you, princess, for you.
Can we all just agree that Black Lives Matter isn't the opposite of all lives matter? Black lives just matter. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
And drum roll, white lives matter. No, let me change it. White guys matter. And no, it's not the opposite of all lives matter.
All right. I am sufficiently pleased with that.
Funny personality, but not too much. Like he doesn't come across as a Pixar character. But at the same time, he has a lot of personality, and he has some really funny lines, and ends up becoming a really likable, important character. I really like K2 in this movie. There's also Donnie Yen as Chirrut Imwe, who is a blind fighting master who is not quite a Jedi, but is sort of the closest thing to a Jedi that this movie has. He's Force sensitive, sort of, but he doesn't quite use the Force in the ways that a Jedi would. But he's the kind of sort of swaggering, unstoppable fighting badass that Star Wars has never.
He really is a child. Can you imagine being his wife, listening to him talk about this? I mean, it's humiliating. Steve, he sets white men back 100 years every time he opens his mouth. God damn it. All right, I'm actually depressed. I'm leaving. I'm rage quitting this stream because of Steve and his discussion of droids and shit. Fuck this.